There's a place in Mega City that's neutral ground between superheroes and supervillains. A place they both need, and if they burned it to the ground fighting, they would all be screwed. The only hospital that operates on superpowered beings. Dr. Insane's hospital. Dr. Insane has lived for many, many years, but still looks about 40. No one really knows where he came from, except for the fact that he has a faint British accent and wears a bizarre costume reminiscent of a plague doctor. But he's the one who figured out how to cut through impenetrable skin, how to operate on a man made entirely out of rock. It's simple, really. Dark magic. If there's no cure in the vast medical text that Dr. Insane speed reads every night, Dr. Insane goes into the dark part of his mind. The part you keep buried deep down that doesn't really mind if you kill the person who cut you off in traffic or murder that neighbor that keeps stomping on the apartment one floor above you. The dark side. Through years and years of study, Dr. Insane learned that the dark side is really just a demon inside all of us. A literal demon trying to turn us into psychopaths and send us to demon world after we die, latching onto another person's soul, whispering to them to do bad things forever. But that demon is quite knowledgeable. It knows spells of every variety. Through his vast knowledge, Dr. Insane learned to stop aging. He remembers coming to America, shaking George Washington's hand. The Civil War, the First World War, the Great Depression, the Second and Third World Wars, the advent of superheroes, and the bizarre day where most of them died, all because he lived through it. He wasn't a superhero. Not really. He was just a doctor. He was doing surgery all the while, listening to the dark side to have the spells to heal as many people as he could. Hero or villain, but the dark side always threatens to take over. And when it does, God help the world. A man with such knowledge and such mastery of the dark arts could be a problem, an apocalypse with 2 eyes and 1 brain, a god. So when Dr. Insane saw that every superhero was murdered and the only surviving hero was Ghostman, a hero who gave him the creeps because he talks to ghosts and annoys him because of his habit of turning translucent, Dr. Insane felt relieved. But he was also deeply afraid. The dark side wanted to take over, to make him join the villains and enslave whoever couldn't run away from this godforsaken city fast enough. Ghostman stumbled into his hospital and fell onto the freshly cleaned white floor with his chest cut wide open, and Dr. Insane sighed. He remembered the oath he took when he became a doctor all those years ago in England, before World War was even a fantasy, before America was free. I will heal the sick and keep them from harm and wrong. And through all these years, he had never forgotten his promise. Doctor, Nurse Idiot said in disbelief. She had a medical degree from Harvard, but Dr. Insane didn't respect Americans who didn't come from Oxford with less than 300 years of practice. So Nurse Idiot she was. Wow, he walked here. I wonder how he could do it when as hot as Nurse Idiot threw up on the floor. At this point, Nurse Idiot, the last thing I'd expect in this hospital is for anything to surprise you. My name is Silence and Effort, Nurse Idiot. Silence and Effort. As she loaded Ghostman into a gurney and wheeled him into the surgery room, Dr. Insane tried to breathe. No more heroes, boss, his demon Exaxel said. The demon was only visible to Dr. Insane. It might be time to hang up the gloves for good. Skip town. Oh yes, and then we can wrap ourselves in toilet paper and pretend to be mummies. Get out of here with your sub-160 IQ ideas. You're lost, boss. I got a date with a minxy little succubus that I just want to... Spare me the details, Exaxel. The demon disappeared in a puff of smoke, and Dr. Insane stepped into the surgery room to find an empty table. His patient had phased through. Nurse Idiot. Nurse Idiot stared at the table, dumbfounded. Where's my dying patient? He, phased through the table and the floor and 2 other floors. He might still be going to the, center of the earth. Exaxel! Exaxel reappeared with a thong made of fire in his hands. Oh yeah, baby. Poke me with your... Hey! Exaxel, I need a spell to bore into the center of the earth and save a man who, against his will, is plummeting towards the earth's molten core and certain death and all that. Well, how do we know the earth is flat anyway, boss? I mean, what do I need to do to get the spell, Exaxel? Some sort of juvenile punishment, I assume? He looked around the room. Get on all fours and make monkey noises. Don't be ridiculous. Okay, fine. I want you to... Exaxel saw Nurse Idiot looking at Dr. Insane like he was completely nuts. Only the person whose demon it is can see their demon, kind of like a really annoying imaginary friend. Tell Nurse Idiot that she's smart. No, oh God, no, for the love of God, I'll do the monkey noises. I will do the monkey noises. He got on all fours. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, and all that. Oh, yes. No, I like the second idea. Tell her she's smart. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah! The doctor started swinging around the operating room, but it was no use. Xaxel had decided his punishment. All his internists, doctors from all around the world learning from him in the observation room, took notes. No dice, boss. Compliment or the transparent albino superhero dies. He turned to Nurse Idiot. He'd rather fight 1,000 demons than give her one compliment. You, Nurse Idiot cringed. He strained with great effort. He couldn't say it. Suspended? Set free? Secretly a lesbian? Smart. Nurse Idiot burst into tears. I knew you liked my paper on super speed. I didn't even think you read it, but I just knew it. Dr. Insane had liked her paper. Sometimes he remembered that Nurse Idiot was actually one of the best doctors in the world. Xaxel whispered the spell into Dr. Insane's ear, then disappeared in a puff of smoke. Dr. Insane's eyes lit up with knowledge. Amaranta discuvius Marati. The ground snapped open, splitting the hospital in two, creating a giant hole boring to the center of the earth, where Dr. Insane saw a faint white figure plummeting towards the earth's core. Xaxel! Xaxel appeared naked and tried to cover himself with a surgery mask. I can control the earth, but he's still transparent. How do I stop his powers? Hi, boss! Take off your clothes and spin around. At least let me keep my underwear on. Don't make me make you give compliments again. I hate you. I hope you die. Dr. Insane did what his demon said, and suddenly gained knowledge of the spell he needed. Nurse Idiot was still crying from the compliment and didn't care that he was probably harassing her in some way. Dr. Insane learned the hard way that trying to explain Xaxel to people was only met with worried stares. And the spells worked, so being known as a crazy guy was a necessary evil. Xaxel whispered the spell to him. Dr. Insane's eyes lit up. Vixirati Nexus Opadopio. Dr. Insane stopped Ghostman from falling and used his earth spell to pull him up to the operating table. Finally. Okay, needle and thread. Now. Dr. Insane got to work, putting the poor boy's chest back together and stitching him up with hundreds of years of practiced precision. Is his heart still beating? Yes. He just has to fight. Dr. Insane touched the boy's forehead. He never liked him. People with death powers reminded him too much of Demon World and the other place. The place the good people go. The place he hoped all the dead heroes went, if he couldn't save them. He hated this part after his work was done. The waiting. He's really the last one left, isn't he? I haven't slept in 3 days and never leave the hospital, so... Right. Well, I hope he's not the last one. Too many funerals is murder on my schedule. So, did I bully you enough to quit yet today? I didn't mean any of the compliments, and I hate you. To his dismay, she smiled. No, I think I'll stay on another day. He put his hand on her shoulder. She was a good kid. She'd make a great doctor. She should leave this place before she ended up like him. I should start calling you Nurse Stupid Face. Doctor, she said. He thought she was chastising him, but she was looking up in absolute terror. He turned around, looking up to the observation deck full of resident doctors. They were dead, vaporized, all of them but one. And a cyborg with a glowing red eye was finishing them off. This must be one of Cyborg Master's creations. Death to humans, one of Cyborg Master's slaves screamed as he went berserk, shooting lasers out of both arms at the defenseless doctors running for help in the observation deck. Cyborg Master was a supervillain recently apprehended by the hero the Human Bat, obsessed with taking disabled homeless people and turning them into cybernetic monsters. He would promise things like them being able to walk again, but instead turn them into mindless soldiers for his quest to turn every human into a cyborg. Cyborg Master had been ripped almost in half by the superhero the Human Bat after he invaded a school for the blind and tried to take the children hostage. And Dr. Insane had run around with his underwear on his head for almost 3 hours before Xaxel gave him the spell to put him back together again. Dr. Insane had spent 12 hours repairing the supervillain's spine, and now his slaves were killing people. For all his years, Dr. Insane felt like the stupidest person in the world. Xaxel! Xaxel reappeared with a sock and a bathrobe on. What? The cyborg slave was going berserk. All organics must die. Spell to neutralize a large physical attacker. Now, give Nurse Idiot a hug. God, you had to do it. He had no choice. God damn it. Dr. Insane hugged Nurse Idiot, and she smiled. Here you go. Poof. Bucacius inus jufascis. Splooge. The cyborg slave got caught in a sticky white glue trap and short-circuited, trying to get himself out. He turned to the terrified doctor and watched the other residents he vaporized to death in the observation room. His hands were shaking. Dr. Insane slapped him on the cheek lightly. "Come on, doctor. What's a little blood? What's a little brains to us? We see more horror and pain and suffering than a normal human sees in their lifetime before our lunch break. Are you really going to have shaky hands after that?" The doctor shook harder. He was terrified. "But my friends..." Dr. Insane knew the pain of losing friends. He'd lost hundreds, but right here, right now, he can make a new one. "Doctor, that's not good enough. There are so many people out there at the doors of death, and we are the only ones who can save them. You won't. No, you can't give in to your fear now. Because the world needs you." The doctor let out a shaky breath. Nurse Idiot smiled at him. "Okay. Good. Now, this is a tragedy, but I'm sure there's some staff around here somewhere. Go and help them. See if I can save them." "Yes, sir," he smiled, running out into the hall. "Doctor. Just doctor, please." Nurse Idiot was beaming at him. She absolutely adored working here. It was annoying. "I find your teeth disgusting and suggest you see a dentist." She laughed and followed him out of the surgery room into the hall. He left surgery to find the hospital in absolute chaos. Lasers flew around Dr. Insane's floor, and his doctors and nurses, good people he trained for years, were running for their lives. Dr. Insane tried to summon his earth powers from before, but he'd forgotten the spell. Spells wear off after about a minute. He'd have to prostrate himself to Exaxel if he wanted more spells, but... "Look out!" The doctor from before, the one he'd inspired, who was on the cusp of becoming great, tackled Dr. Insane to the ground before he was vaporized into dust. Dr. Insane held his ashes and held a scream of anguish deep inside himself and turned to face the murderer. But there were too many killers for him to count. So much for neutral hospital. So much for, I don't care if you save or hurt people. I'm here. You will be healed. For the first time, a villain had broken Dr. Insane's rule. Cyborg Master and his slaves were free. Cyborg Master was a former engineer for GovTech who, like so many GovTech employees, got jealous of the superheroes chosen to get serums and drank a serum himself. He drank a superintelligence serum and became a master of robotics. Unlike the other defects, most of whom were in jail, Cyborg Master had evaded capture by cutting into his own body and replacing it with deadly weapons. Deadly, but so sad. The man was barely 30 and had completely turned into a monster. His army of slaves had come to bust him out of here. Of course, Ghostman was unconscious, recovering for surgery. There were no more heroes to protect the hospital. The way of the old world was gone. "Don't you see?" Cyborg Master screamed. Dr. Insane thought Cyborg Master didn't have emotions, but he had them now. The cyborg was afraid. His red eyes were almost crying. "The Painted Man is coming for us. There's no escaping him. We must fight with him to survive. We must go back to the law of the jungle. Kill or be killed." Cyborg Master and his slaves were killing with impunity. Dr. Insane had just put his heart back together. All of them knew if they killed here, he would never help them again. And they didn't care, because the heroes were dead, and it was just the doctor and Ghostman left to stop them. The staff he tried to turn away, all the people he'd insulted constantly but still showed up here day after day because they believed, like he believed, that all life was sacred. They were being killed, one by one, killed because of him. "Exaxel, please! Come on, Doc, Exaxel saw the chaos. He laughed, pleased. The only thing demons find joy in is chaos, and they like chaos most of all. "Groovy, baby!" And Dr. Insane had no joke. No remark for him. "I need a way to stop all this killing with as little people dead as possible. Please." That's a big ask. Insane. Cyborg Master saw Dr. Insane. His arm turned into a Gatling gun and he started firing. Dr. Insane grabbed Nurse Idiot and dove behind a desk as his staff ran for cover. "Ah! You screamed like a girl. Exaxel, please. I'll do anything." Exaxel watched the chaos longingly. "Why? If you lose this place, you might actually..." Cyborg Master rounded the corner. In a second, he would fire, and Dr. Insane would be dead. "Do you think this is a partnership, Exaxel? I beat you. I went all the way down to Demon World and stole your soul key. You're not my friend, you're my slave, and you will do what I say." Exaxel's eyes burned with hate. "Kiss, Nurse Idiot." "Are you serious? I'm her boss, and I'm about 460 years too old for her. Ridiculous." "I want to see it." Fine. He turned to Nurse Idiot. She was horrified. All the pain and suffering. I'm sorry about all this. What? He brushed his fingers against her cheek. He thought she would slap him, but she didn't. She looked into his eyes. I'm so scared. Me too. He kissed her. He can't remember the last time he kissed a woman. It didn't seem fair after all these years. All his lovers, even his children, were long dead. Being immortal on Earth is infinite pain and suffering. He focused on his work instead. But her lips, her warmth lit something he thought could never be lit again inside him. She blushed feverishly. Doctor, Cyborg Master pointed his gun at Dr. Insane. There was nowhere to hide now, nowhere to go. You didn't have to grab her cheek, Doc. Foxy. Noxus Eternus. An EMP emerged from Dr. Insane's lips, making Cyborg Master and all his slaves go to sleep. A sleep so deep they wouldn't wake from it for days. Dr. Insane saw their sleeping faces. He picked up a scalpel still in his hand and went to Cyborg Master. He ripped his faceplate open, revealing the crystal that powered everything. His brain, his soul. He could cut his circuits out. It wouldn't even be killing. All his body had been replaced anyway. Doctor? Nurse Idiot and his staff, the ones who survived, they were all staring at him in horror. The ones who still believed in him couldn't believe what he was about to do. He dropped the scalpel and ran to the surgery room. There was nowhere left to run from the tears, so they flowed. He was alone in the world. All the heroes were dead. His hospital, this city were doomed. Nothing was left but rage and pain and Doctor, Ghostman, his patient, had just woken up. His powers were activated. He glowed with ghosts. He was ready to fight Dr. Insane if he snapped. If Dr. Insane became the monster Saxel so desperately wanted him to be, this hero, the last hero, was ready to fight him. And Dr. Insane said to himself, not today. Ah, Ghostman, how are you feeling? Ghostman smiled. He put his ghosts away. Relieved. At least one of us is still alive. He was talking about him. Usually, Dr. Insane objected to being on the side of heroes, but the scales were tipped. The heroes needed numbers, and the city needed saving. And Dr. Insane knew he could keep going. As long as one good man were still alive, he could keep going. Even if the good man was as messy and flawed and broken as he was. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, check out the first episode of the series somewhere around here and keep in touch with the No More Heroes community in the comment sections of this video. Bye.